Question: who's in the mood to talk about found money or unusual stories about money? This is something that Steve and I were in the mood for back in a few. Hey, Steve, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Thanks so much for being here. Okay, for those who don't know, this is Steve Young from the Steve Young 74 channel, and we're going to talk about unusual stories about money. But first, I want to mention to you, if you are brand new here, sincere and humble, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are a veteran here, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're just dropping by to say hello, hello, hope you come back one day and stick around. Thank you so much for sharing and liking my video. I really do appreciate every single one of you. All right, going to talk with Steve. Steve, you have a couple of unusual situations to talk about regarding found money.
Yeah, one of the ones that I have is I can't remember exactly how far back it was, but I had to go to the ATM and to get some money out. And I put my card in, I punched in my PIN, follow the prompts, get my money. But when I went to look down and grab my card out of the ATM, I look off to my left and I see a $5 bill sitting there, or
Wow.
laying there rather. So I reach down, pick it up, and put it in my wallet. And that was definitely a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting that to be there. Another one is when I was working, helping my parents out at a movie theater, cleaning up, after people leave the theater between, or between, not between showings, but when everybody would leave the last showing, you would go in there and clean up the mess. So when I was mopping between the rows to get the Coke stains and everything, or the soda stains that run down, I look down between the seats and I see a $10 bill. Wow. So I took the 10, looked at it, I was excited. I wasn't expecting that, just like the 5. So I took the 10, put it in my pocket, and then of course later on when I saw my mom or my dad or both of them, I let them both know eventually, hey, I come across the $10 bill. So that's a couple stories that I do have that happened to me. Now the $10 bill story, that was almost 30 years ago. That's not any time recent. But the other one with the ATM, I think that was about 4, maybe 4.5 years back.
Thank you, Steve. And it reminds me of something. I heard this from a few people. Here's the thing: we must observe the fact that literally money is literally all around us, but it's about being mindful. There are literally some places where you are more prone to find loose money, dollar bills, whatever. It's interesting, the situation at the theater that you mentioned. I knew someone that literally they were going to attend some sort of a ceremony somewhere. Nobody else was in the theater yet. People were just piling in. They were going to their assigned seats. But it was those plush seats like in the movies, and the person went to put the seat down and kerplop, out came a bunch of cash. I couldn't tell you how much,
Wow.
but it was sizable amount.
Yeah.
How do you think that got there? Would you say it had something to do with people's pants or pockets or wallet, or what do you
Well,
think?
if you had 7, 8, 9 different denomination of bills fly out at you, I don't know. I don't think it had to do with money falling out of a person's pocket, because that's an awful lot of money to have fall out of your pocket. It also makes me think, if a person had that much loose bills in their pocket, that wasn't healthy, because that money should have either been in a wallet or it should have been on a money clip. It could also have been there or put there. This is just a thought out loud. I don't know for sure. Is maybe the money was put there for a certain person to go back and get it, and somebody else wound up being the finder of it. There's no telling.
That's a very smart analogy. I didn't even look at it that way. That makes
Yeah.
an awful lot of sense. Steve, you might remember this story. Maybe a couple of my earlier long-time subscribers might remember this, but I had a very special 40th birthday. Years ago, I was treated to a beautiful trip out to a certain area in Pennsylvania where there was a huge flea market. I mean, it was an outdoor flea market. It was humongous, but it was December because my birthday's in early December. Trust me, Steve, the weather was not great that day. It was very windy, but we had to park our car like quite a ways away from the actual flea market and, head on over there by foot. So there was nobody around us, but it was a windy day. All of a sudden I see and feel something hit my foot. I looked down, lo and behold, it was a $20 bill. Make a long story short, we went to the flea market. I was not too impressed despite all the tables that were there. I didn't buy anything. I said, let's go to lunch. So I said, I'll treat you to birthday lunch, with the 20. So my husband said, oh, no. He says, that's on me. It's your birthday, blah, blah. Okay, we went to the diner. The food was great. But I noticed something that I had never noticed in a New York City diner. They were selling lottery tickets at the diner. So that impressed me. I says, well, I got my $20. So, but me being the frugal Janet, I only spent $5. Well, guess what? Steve, you might remember this. Out of the $5, everything I scratched off was a winner. But the best winner of all was a scratch out ticket that paid $100. So that was
Wow.
absolutely one of my luckiest days. You know what, Steve? Have you ever heard of strange lottery stories and people not being mindful of tickets? Did you ever hear anything like that? Like careless people with their tickets?
Actually, I might have one quick semi story for you. Again, I live in Florida, and this was about maybe 8 years ago, maybe a little better. I decided to move further down south, about 3 hours from here. I wanted to get out of the city that I was in. I had been here since I was about 8 years old. By that time I was approaching 40.
Mm-hmm.
So I left with my dad. We moved to a town just outside of Tampa. And the name of the town, I don't have a problem with it, is Zephyrhills. Yes, just like the water. Matter of fact,
Right.
There was a distribution center not too far from where I lived. Okay. I used to go to this Publix,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody had hit the lottery. Little did I know at the time, that lottery ticket was bought at that Publix store. So the lottery drug on and on and on. The person never came forward. It must have drug on for about 5 or 6 weeks.
Wow.
Finally, the person did come forward and they claimed the money. Here's a little bit of a catch, or a little bit of the suspense part, or whatever you want to call it, of the story.
Right.
This person who was in line let this other person behind them go in front. They were both getting a lottery ticket, but this person let this person get in front.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that person felt upset, angry, coulda, woulda, shoulda, because that person kept saying, that should have been my lottery ticket.
Oh my gosh.
But you can't say that because it has to do with probability. Who's to say if
Right.
that person had never made that switch?
Right.
There's no 100% guarantee those numbers would have come out the same.
Right.
So
Steve, go ahead.
The person can't say, "Oh, that was my lottery ticket," because it's probability, and it's like playing Russian roulette. You don't know. It's 1 in a zillion that number was going to come out the same. You don't know that.
That's the truth. That is so true. Steve, I believe that story hit the national news because somehow I remember my mother, bless her heart, sharing that story on the telephone with a relative. So I believe I heard this story. That is really phenomenal.
Right.
I agree with you regarding the probability thing. But that person definitely must have felt like kicking a few tires.
And then some. But that storyline, it did go everywhere. But I was living down toward Tampa when that incident happened, and that Publix was not that far from me, maybe less than 3 miles.
Right, right. Amazing, amazing.
So,
You know, Steve, it's so important for people to be mindful of, speaking of lottery tickets, of their ticket. If you have a lottery ticket, please do not do the following. Do not shove it in a shirt pocket and forget about it. I know of a story of a friend that they were very lucky. Let's put it this way. That person shoved a lucky ticket in there. They didn't know it was lucky yet, in his shirt pocket, threw that shirt in the hamper. Luckily, the wife found the shirt a few days later and said, please go check your ticket. I mean, it was almost ready to go in the wash and be destroyed or lost. Turn out that person was a huge lottery ticket winner. Therefore, the bottom line of it was be mindful of your surroundings. You could find money in very, very strange places. Steve, I have a question for the audience, for our viewers.
okay.
Where have you ever found money that you believe was a pretty strange place to find money? Let us know in the comments section below. A word about Steve's channel. Steve Young 74 has a wonderful variety, random, whatever word you want to use, channel. He has his wonderful show, Recipe Tuesday, every single Wednesday. There's Recipe Tuesday and wonderful random shows in between. And thank you, Steve. I'm a guest on your channel many, many times. So if you can't
Absolutely.
get enough, right, of Steve and Jan chats, head over to his channel where you will find a ton of chats, right? I think you just like uploaded about 91 or 92 uploads.
Well, I've got the video that I just put up that aired yesterday. That was my 90th. The one that now I'm going to go ahead and give people a heads up. I'm kind of, promoting myself slightly here. I do have an upload going up Saturday at 1 p.m.
Oh, very, very cool. So that it's possible that the time that this is airing, that it will have just gone up a few hours prior. So if you haven't seen it at the original upload time at 1 p.m., please head on to his channel and check it out. I could always link that up in my description box, Steve.
Yeah, that's going to go up 1 p.m. on Saturday, which I believe, I guess if it's going to be Saturday, maybe I should go ahead and beam forward and say it aired earlier today. Maybe I should say that, but
that's totally fine because the folks will understand. And either way, I will have no problem.
And I think the topic that I am discussing, it's a product review.
Right.
I don't want to give away any more.
No giveaways.
But definitely tune in. I would really,
But your Recipe Tuesday show occurs every Tuesday at what time in the morning?
6 in the morning, yes.
So that's a fixed time, 6 in the morning. And while we're at it, I look forward to seeing those shows, by the way, Steve. While we're at it, just to mention to anyone that's new here, I upload daily, Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. I have random shows sometimes like right now on Saturday night or another time. Now, here's the thing. If you subscribe to Steve's channel or to my channel, please be sure to tap the notification bell because there are different times besides the fixed times that both of us upload our shows.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, I want to thank you very much for being here. It was a pleasure. It was fun.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone that's been watching. Okay, wish me luck trying to close out the show. You know what always happens. Wish me luck. I tapped it twice by accident. Let's do it again.
Now,
yes, Steve. Go ahead.
I may throw in my 2 cents.
I know. Go ahead.
When you go over and watch my channel, I do have 1, maybe 2 intros, and I have an outro. But I do my system different. I just thought I would go ahead and let people know what I do. I actually send it over to an app that you and I both share. Yeah. And I put my intro, my main whatever I record in the middle, outro, and it all comes out, and there isn't any bloopers or any mess ups. Just thought I'd pass that along to you.
You know what, Steve? In my case, I think bloopers and bird clocks are just a way of life. All right, everybody, have a great night. Thanks so much for being here. Bye bye. Thank you, Steve.